Hi everyone, welcome and thank you for joining me for the daily practice. Today our flow is dedicated to the root chakra so that we may follow a sequence that is grounding, recharging, re-energizing, and revitalizing. I'm also going to highlight some areas of common injury that many of us tend to practice with or sustain throughout our yoga practice. So I'll be highlighting notes for the neck, knees, shoulders, wrists, and low back. Let's practice along together and feel free to take a moment to gather any props or anything that will help you during modifications and if you want to take any restorative poses. Always feel free to replace a pose with another pose and pause or come down to child's pose, take a rest in tabletop. Always consider your body and its needs, listening to the initial sensations that may be different and possibly pointing to discomfort so that we do not ignore our bodies. Thank you so very much. We want to practice for longevity. Let's practice together today. Namaste. Coming to the top of the mat, I'm going to bend the knees here, and always feel free to take a micro bend or even maintain a micro bend throughout your entire practice. Inhaling here, arms drawing up along the side waist, pushing up, maintaining a bend, folding forward into folding forward bend here. Hands can come onto the mat or can come onto blocks. Keeping a bend in the knees allows the release of the compression in the lower back. We can extend here to any level of straight, but again, maintaining a micro bend if that's most comfortable for you. Over time, continuing to bend the knees will stretch the low back and begin to feel relief in that area. So folding forward here, allowing the head and neck to draw down and ground down. We want to make sure we're not crimping or straining the neck. Always allow it to become elongated, especially in a folding forward bend here. Inhale, and exhale, and bend the knees, draw the arms up, pull the sideways up, drawing the fingertips up here. On our inhale, we're going to release the right arm down and lean the left arm overhead to our right here. Head and neck follow, no strain, gaze is soft. Can continue to maintain a micro bend in the knees here, or if you're comfortable, to come to straight legs. Let's inhale, come through center, release the left arm down to the left, and on our exhale, release the right arm overhead to our left. Again, head and neck follow, gaze is soft and neutral. You can maintain a micro bend here if that's comfortable for you. And on our exhale, releasing the arms, coming down through center here. Let's take an inhale here in mountain pose, and exhale, draw the hands up to the heart center. Namaste, hands at heart, nose comes to fingertips, allowing the head and neck to draw down here, experiencing a slight stretch with no strain. Let's take a moment to focus on our intention for a very rooted, grounding, and centering flow today, so that we may release any stored energy that no longer serves us, and we can recharge ourselves during our daily practice. Inhale, bend the knees, extend the arms up, palms can come to touch, push up, swan dive, fold forward over bent knees, hands can come to the mat or onto blocks. Of course, any height here, if you're working with blocks, that's comfortable for you. Bringing the legs to mostly straight. Elbows can also be bent here if that's more comfortable for you. Otherwise, we're going to allow the body to hang forward here. Take a hold of the elbows. We're going to begin to go right and left here with the hips, bringing a sway into ragdoll here and maintaining a bend in the knees to relieve any strain or stress on the low back. And from here, I'm going to switch the hold of my elbows and go left, right. Again, head and neck are down. Shoulders are extending downward as well. I'm going to inhale here. I'm going to prepare to come to runner's lunge. I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to open my hands about shoulders distance apart and make sure that my wrists are stacked directly under my shoulders. I don't want the shoulders moving forward past the wrists. That can create discomfort over time. Extending the right leg back here onto toes. Taking an inhale. Note that the head and neck are following the spine. Neutral, gaze is soft. And inhale, extend my left leg back here into plank position. Holding, again, wrists are directly under shoulders here, and releasing down to the mat. If it's comfortable, you can release your forehead down to the mat. Again, taking any pose that's better for you at any time. From here, I'm going to bring my hands a little bit back at my side. I'm going to draw the shoulders up on my inhale here for Cobra. Head and neck are back, gaze is soft and neutral. And on my exhale, release back down to the mat. From here, I'm going to extend my arms behind me and release my palms facing towards the sky for a reverse corpse pose. On my inhale, bring the hands at my side, wrists underneath shoulders. Let's prepare to come up to upward dog, pushing up onto our hands and the tops of our feet. On our inhale, we're going to push up. Head and neck are back, gaze is soft and neutral. And we're going to roll through over our toes, coming into downward dog. Again, downward dog is a great area to take a modification. You can bend the knees here. Hands can be on blocks if you're more comfortable with that. Always feel free to raise the floor to a comfortable level for you. Drawing the tailbone back, continuing to maintain a bend in the knees if that's comfortable. Inhale, and on our exhale, we're going to release the knees down to the mat into tabletop. You can continue to use blocks here if this is more comfortable, or your hands can come to the mat. So just here in tabletop, grounding down, feeling balanced here, taking a moment to note our alignment, making sure that, again, wrists are stacked under elbows, knees are under hips here. Inhale, and on our exhale, we're going to open the knees a little bit more and bring the tailbone down into child's pose if this is available. You can always take a block, bolster, cushion, blanket underneath the tailbone to raise the floor height up to you. And draw fingertips towards the front of the mat, outstretching our arms here, not straining the shoulders. Head and neck can come to the mat. If it's comfortable, we can allow the head to rest onto the mat here. Inhale, and our exhale, we're going to push up here, drawing the tailbone up into puppy pose. If this is comfortable, you can draw the knees slightly closer together, bringing the knees underneath the hips. Head and neck can release downward toward the mat here. Inhale, and on our exhale, we're going to prepare to push up, so rolling onto our toes and drawing the heels downward here. Weight is on forearms and on the front of our feet, opening our toes, balancing, allowing the head and neck to align here, drawing down towards the mat. Inhale, and on our exhale, I'm going to extend the right foot back, coming onto toes here. Extend the left foot back on toes and holding here in dolphin plank. Weight is in elbows and on hands and toes here. Head and neck are extending from the spine, no strain. And we're going to release down into Sphinx pose here. Again, keeping weight in our elbows and on hands. We're going to outstretch the fingers. Often when we're putting weight on our hands, it's important to remember not to cup our palms or crimp our fingers, rather spread them open really distribute our weight. And that's a wonderful tip to apply in folding forward bends, downward dog, any area where we're distributing weight out onto our hands, especially through the wrist. Inhale here. On our exhale, let's release down to the mat. We're going to go ahead and take this again. We're going to prepare to come to upward dog, pushing up onto hands and feet here, outstretching the fingers, pushing down through the hands, rolling through the toes into downward dog. Inhale, coming onto tippy toes. Exhale, drawing the heels down, knees can stay bent, hands can be on blocks. From here, I'm going to inhale. On my exhale, I'm going to release my left hand back, looking under my right shoulder. The left hand is making contact with the right ankle here. And I'm going to release here, open my feet a little bit wider apart. Inhale, my exhale, reaching for my left hand, my left ankle here, gazing under my left shoulder and coming back through center here. And walking my feet up between my hands here, bending my knees, drawing my arms parallel to my ears, coming all the way up here. From here, I'm going to interlace my fingers, cross my thumbs, and point my index fingers up, touching together. Inhale. And on my exhale, I'm going to lean to my right. Gaze is soft. Head and neck follow here. You can maintain a bend in the knees if you prefer. And inhaling through center, drawing the sideways up. Exhale, lean to the left here. And drawing back up through center here. Inhale, let's draw the hands back into a back bend here. Can continue to maintain a micro bend in the knees and draw up here. Inhale and exhale, hands coming down, pointing towards the mat for mountain pose. And from here, I'm going to bend my knees, draw the arms up parallel to the ears, swan dive, fold forward. Again, bent knees, hands can be on blocks here. I'm going to draw the hands up into namaste. I'm going to twist to my right, bringing my left elbow to my right knee here. Inhaling, gaze is soft, head and neck are following the alignment of the spine. And I'm going to exhale through center and twist to my left here. Right elbow comes to left knee, head and neck follow the alignment of the spine. And on our exhale, let's release down, bend the knees, hands on blocks or on mat, draw the legs up to straight. Just come up to halfway lift here. Hands can come onto the shins or on blocks. Head and neck are extending from the spine. Gaze is soft and neutral. And fold forward here. Inhale. And I'm going to release the hands down to the mat. Shoulders distance apart. Wrists should be stacked under shoulders. Inhale. Extending the left leg back into runner's lunge. Head and neck are following the alignment of the spine. Gaze is downward and soft, chin is down. Inhale, and on our exhale, extend the right leg back onto toes, coming into plank position here. Again, watching the alignment of our wrists underneath our shoulders. Inhale, and on our exhale, we're going to come down to the mat here. From here, we're going to take one more flow through upward and downward dog, and then we're going to begin to prepare for our final relaxation poses here. Inhale, pushing up onto hands and tops of feet, head and neck are back, gaze is soft, rolling through to downward dog. Inhale, up on tippy toes, exhale, separate the feet, hips distance apart, and draw the heels down. Tailbone comes back. Arms extend here. Fingertips are open and pushing down through the hands. Inhale, and on our exhale, we're going to come back down to our knees here into tabletop. Inhale, balancing in tabletop. Knees are under hips, wrists are under shoulders. Allow the head and neck to be in a neutral position in alignment here, or if you prefer, they can come down here with the weight of the head drawing down towards the mat. No strain, no stress on any joint here. Inhale, head and neck come back to neutral. On our exhale, let's extend our right leg out behind us, shifting our weight to balance between hands and knee here, outstretching the fingers and pushing down. Bring the knee back to center here. Let's draw down towards child pose if this is available to us. Again, noting you can raise the floor level to you. From here, I'm going to release the head forward to the mat if it's available. And release the palms facing up, fingertips behind me, stretching towards the back of the mat. Just taking a moment here to ground if this is a comfortable position for you. On our exhale here, I'm going to come back up into puppy pose. Coming on to forearms and onto hands here, outstretching my hands and pushing down. Relaxing the head and neck downward here. Head can even come to the mat if you're comfortable. From here, I'm going to draw the spine up, walk the hands back. I'm going to begin to draw my head down to the mat if it's comfortable, keeping the tailbone up and allowing the fingertips to stretch down towards the mat for a rabbit pose here. If you prefer, knees can come a little closer together. Allowing for the shoulders to draw down here. And we're going to exhale, walk our hands back out here. And from here, I'm going to walk my hands back into kneeling pose and hero. From here, I'm going to lean back, bring the hands behind me, fingertips pointing forward, wrists are stacked underneath the shoulders. Just gently and softly leaning back onto the ankles, no strain here for ankle stretch, and coming forward here. I'm going to walk back to the middle of my mat here. Allow my knees to come open if it's available in hero's pose. If you prefer, you can have a block underneath the tailbone here. Be soft on the knees, no strain. Always listening to our body, feeling sensation and noting any level of discomfort as we move through our practice each day. Inhaling here. On the exhale, I'm going to begin to come down onto forearms behind my feet here if it's available and comfortable. I'm just resting my hands on my feet, adjusting here as I am in a modified reclined hero's pose. Head and neck are in alignment with the rest of the spine, no strain here. And if you prefer and are more comfortable, you can walk body down here and allow yourself to come to a fully reclined hero's pose, making sure that there's no strain anywhere here. And if it's available, feel free to allow the fingertips to draw back behind you here in full reclined hero's pose. Inhaling and exhaling as our body draws down towards the earth, reconnecting, recharging, and revitalizing. To come out of hero's pose, on our inhale, we're going to come forward here. Allow the hands to push into the heels of the foot. and pull up onto elbows. I like to lean my weight to my left and walk my fingertips around here. And in order not to strain my knees as I come up, I can put weight straight down onto my hands on the side, in front of me, or in between my legs, lifting my knees so that I'm not straining them. From here, I'm going to come around into seated pose, allowing the right leg to come in front of the left. There should be no strain here. Put a block underneath your tailbone if that's better. You can also support the knees with blocks, bolsters, or cushions at the side if that's easier for you, if you want to take a more comfortable modified pose. Otherwise, we're going to draw the hands to the chest, allow the nose to come to the fingertips. Let's give a moment of gratitude here for our daily practice, giving gratitude for making this important time for yourself to cultivate peace, balance, centered mind state, compassion, love, and abundance within your heart space. And from here, I'm going to let the hands come to the knees, bring the feet to the mat, and walk myself down into my final resting pose of Shavasana. If this is comfortable for you, feel free to take any level of a restorative pose here. If you want to prop a bolster up, prepare to stay in Shavasana for at least 5 to 7 minutes. So feel free to take any option here that will be comfortable for you to recline in. This is just an example. If you want to take a restorative pose for Shavasana, we could lay the back body along this bolster. Feel free to prepare yourself. If you're already in Shavasana, begin to allow any thoughts that may be floating around in the mind at this time. Sometimes when we're grounding, energy that no longer serves us tends to come up and release because it wants to reconnect and ground with Earth's energy. Drawing the knees into the chest here as I begin to roll back down. Softly inhaling, no strain on the knees here, hugging them into the chest, allowing the hands to extend to the right and left here. Inhaling. And on our exhale, we're going to release the knees down to the right. Head can turn to the left. You can hover the knees here over the floor. We can allow them to come all the way down. Inhaling, protecting the lower back, drawing the knees in through the chest and rolling through. On our exhale, to our left, rolling the head to the right here. And again, allowing the feet to hover, to stay active, or come all the way down to the floor. On our inhale, we engage the core, tuck the knees, roll in through the center. Hug the knees if it's comfortable, and bring the head to the knees without a strain in the neck. Release the head down, release the feet to the mat. Inhale, left leg can extend out towards the top of the mat. Right leg can extend towards the top of the mat, allowing the feet to open right and left. Palms can open about 45-degree angle, pointing towards the top of our mat. Fingertips and palms are facing up here. Inhaling and exhaling, beginning to slow our breath here. Slow down our inhalation and exhalation, and beginning to feel the effects of our folding forward bends on the low back, allowing tension and strain to be released through the back body and ground down through the mat to the earth. Feeling the back body making contact with the mat here, shoulders are back and open, shoulder blades are in contact with the mat. And you can stay here as long as you like. No need to come up and end the practice when I end. Always take Shavasana for as long as your time allows. Letting the body settle, letting the mind settle, allowing the unification and integration process to take hold here as we've balanced and unified our bodies, harmonized our hearts, and grounding our minds with that of the Earth's energy. Just, if it's available now, allow your body to come into stillness here, releasing, moving down towards the earth. The back body can begin to feel heavy here as it fully releases over the mat. Take this time for yourself to feel the effects and benefits of your practice. What we cultivate here on the mat can be extended into all areas of our lives, drawing harmony and balance into our hearts so that we may express ourselves with grace and love throughout all of the beauties and challenges of the upcoming day. Continue to rest and rejuvenate here, making sure that we're listening to all areas of our bodies, breathing in slowly and slowly exhaling through the nose, feeling recharged and revitalized here. And this is a time for yourself. This is a time to connect with your body, connect with your awareness, draw your attention to your breath, and release any unwanted or unserving energy. When you're ready, you're going to begin to draw the left knee up towards the sky, draw the right knee towards the sky, feet are flat on the mat. Begin to slowly roll to your right side, placing weight on your left hand and walking yourself back up into a seated position. Hands can come to heart center, nose can draw towards fingertips. Giving gratitude in this practice, I thank you for your daily contributions of elevating your practice so that we may all resonate beauty, love, and joy within our heart space. Namaste to you.